guys are on track. So, right.
Hi, good evening. My name is Yahya. I'm from Malaysia, Malaya. So my question is, how are we going to make sure our company is the first thing coming for the query? Is that, like, for instance, you're searching Yahya, my name, I want my Facebook profile to be there. How is it going to be? Thank you.
The short answer to your question, my friend, is I don't know. because I have no idea what the algorithm looks like and what they're looking for. All I can tell you is this. If your website is user-friendly, if it is relevant to the query, if it is quick to load, you know, it's not like some crazy page that takes 5 minutes to load, you'll be okay. All the rest of these things, I mean, there are thousands of signals that we actually look at for every query, but I have no idea what those are. So I don't know the answer to your question other than have a great website and be relevant to the user's query. Yeah? Sorry.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
ask one final question.
Yeah, sure.
It's related to my business.
Sure.
So if you don't mind, yeah.
No problem.
Okay.
I don't want to keep people here. I'm happy to take more questions, by the way. I don't have a flight to catch. I can stay here. Okay.
In the beginning, we had the web browser, Mozilla, Internet Explorer, and the Chrome. That is the search engine era, which is Yahoo, Google, Bing, and etc. Facebook, social search engine, well, +1 managed to do that, socialize it. But the important thing for me right now is that when will Google focus on the gaming layer? Yeah, it's very important.
Good. Yeah. So again, you're asking me to talk about, you're asking me to make forward-looking statements, right? And again, I know this is why you have to hate lawyers and people, who train you and all of these things. I'll tell you what. I have some. We should talk about this. So please give me your card and all that. We think this is a very important space. We will do. There are many things we think we should be doing there. We will be. We have investments in companies, but I can't. I don't have an answer to you in terms of telling you exactly what it is that we're going to be doing. But we'll talk. We'll talk. Yes.
Thank you. First one. Yeah, and second, my question is that what is the next big thing that Google going to do about this semantic web, which is the next, because like the pattern now is not semantic. I mean, yeah, and also I sort of foresee that the pattern of Google is kind of monopolizing the market. I mean, like everyone says, okay, Google, whatever it is, just Google. But like in future, is it gonna be so, or yeah, how do you see?
It's a good question. So let's take the semantic web one very quickly, because the fact is that what we want to do is, as you keep searching on Google and as your queries evolve, hopefully we're doing a good job of giving you the answers. Again, there are some forward-looking statements that I have to make, so I'm going to excuse myself. You raised a very important and interesting point about monopoly. So why do you think of Google as a monopoly? Why?
Well, because it's like Google is trying to... No, I don't know.
That's my point. So I always make this case, I always make this point. I have no contract. Google has no contract with you. You vote by virtue of the fact that Google provides you relevant results. So you vote by your usage of Google. And hopefully, as you were saying, you trust that we will give you the right results at the time you want it. If you didn't like it, again, there's no contract. You can go anywhere else. So the word monopoly to me, at least in the search thing, doesn't apply at all. Right? So if you think about the way users interact with us and the way our business is constructed, there's no monopoly. It's just users voting by their fingertips and using Google. Fair? Do you guys want to stop, or do you still want to take some questions? What's the question? Real quick. Sorry. Yeah. Just there are a lot of people who are still. If you guys want to start leaving, by all means, let me not stop you. So.
But people will ask questions. I'll take. My question is pretty simple. How does the Malaysian office? What's the relationship with the headquarters in the US? How autonomous are you in Asia?
So Google believes in a policy of autonomy. We operate very independently. Obviously, Singapore is like a regional hub, so my boss sits there, and obviously the mothership is Mountain View. So all top-level strategy, etc., gets set out of there, and we'll execute on some of those strategies, but we'll also localize what needs to be localized from a Malaysian context, right? So ideally, in fact, any time that we would have a social kind of product, I would love for it to be, the beta for it should be done in Malaysia, because who's the most social country in the world? Right, so when you think about it, so we'll do it like that, but very much autonomous. We want to do things, but yet, of course, we've all got bosses, don't we?
Just a quick question.
All right, who's that? All right. Sure, you got the mic?
Yeah, Adam from Securities Regulator. I was wondering, it's just a question about like the user. If there was some local chap and he was very keen on some ideas, but not necessarily the technical know-how to create a product, how can he pierce the product together for Google, or just have Google assist in piercing the product together? Because you're talking about all this locally developed companies and such, but necessarily it's not the case that everyone comes up with a computer science degree or a programming background. But if someone has the idea and the will to do it, how can he do it? Like vis-a-vis Google or?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know the complete answer, to be honest, my friend, but I can tell you one way for you to do that is, for instance, when we have these developer days, and hopefully you hear about it, right? I mean, because I'm assuming that most developers or those interested in developing things will hear about it, will come. So assuming you're part of that pool, that's a great place to come and actually ask, because there will be engineers from Google who spend like 2-3 days in Malaysia, who will be doing nothing else but advising you on your idea. So that would be an ideal thing. Second, and I don't know this, I'd advise you to search for this and see what comes up. I mean, I'm completely honest. But the first answer is more about what I know. The second is really, I mean, there's so many other ways to do it other than just waiting for us to do a developer day. I'm sure there's a community here in Malaysia already that does this, and if you do a couple of Google searches, it should link you up with that. Wait, there's a gentleman here who had a question. We'll get to you.
Hi, Sajith. My name is Gaurav, Pricewaterhouse. You mentioned earlier.
Others Pricewaterhouse.
You mentioned earlier that you don't think Google was currently a monopoly.
All right. From a search in the search.
Yeah, but obviously YCM has invited you, not a representative from Yahoo or from Lycos. So Google needs no description. Everyone knows exactly what Google is. What happened? Did Google spot something that the others couldn't? Because there was a sudden, now you don't look at any other search engine anymore. Is it purely based on your algorithms and the fact that your search engine gives you exactly what you want, or is there something more?
So have you guys even heard of search engines like AltaVista, Ask, Jeeves, or all these? So I think what we did was, there are two answers I have for you. One, I think we did a better job than them in terms of delivering results. Two, Yahoo is a portal, not a search engine. People get onto Yahoo as a portal and then maybe they search, right? So I think we were just so focused on search, and we were so light in a time when everybody had wonderful glitzy banners that it was refreshing for the consumers. And again, consumers voted by searching more, and I think our engineers did a great job of delivering the results that mattered to you in extremely quick time, which never happened before. And that certainly changed the game. In regards to why they haven't invited Yahoo or whatever, it's probably because I said yes before then. So I'm sure you'll hear from the others as well in due course of time. Somebody there at the back, and then we can.
Hi, Mr. Sajith and my friends. Good evening. I'm a big fan of Google, and then I've been Googling myself on the web. And thanks to Google for allowing stalkers nowadays to easier to get their job done. And then and all of us who present today, please try go and search your name. I think you'll find some fascinating results. And then I noticed that just now the presentation was done on Mac, and I think it will be more fascinating if Chrome OS come out, the CR48, and I noticed that Malaysians don't have much opportunities to try out pilot the CR48. And then may I ask when the Chrome OS will be coming out, because it will put in 5 seconds, less than 5 seconds. Then my second question is, for billions of Google users today, how Google is going to ensure that the Google's privacy data is going to be protected, because Google has never done anything that Twitter has done before, because Twitter actually sued the government for being asking the Twitter to release their privacy, their users' privacy data in the web. Thanks. That's all. Thank you.
So, have you heard of something called Transparency Report? So, if you Google Transparency Report, it's actually a website that Google has created, which shows the number of requests we get from government to take down search results or things like that, and the fact that we don't comply with that. So, you know, we want to be as open as possible, and we want to maintain the trust that all of you, as users, have given to us. So, it's a little known tool, it's a little known website, we don't talk about it much, but it's there. So you should see, and you know, you'll know more about this. If you think about it, I mean, and our chairman keeps saying this, we begin every minute with 0 users. We don't have, the statistics will say we have a couple of billion users who use Google. But every minute, if you don't like the results we give you, if you don't trust us, that's it. You'll stop searching on us. So we want to keep that trust very, very, very safe. The other thing, very interestingly, you know, you search yourself. I want to share this information with everybody here in the room. One of the highest category of searches that we see on Google is what we call vanity searches. That's what the engineers call it. And it's about people Googling themselves. It's one of the highest category of searches. And so, you know, you're the majority, by the way. So, you know, so enjoy. Cool. Any other
Excuse
questions?
me, can we get last 5 questions?
Yeah. Those of you who are hungry, you can, please. Okay, sir.
Hi, my name is Aaron Key, fresh graduate actually. Question, we have seen Google in America buying up, stripping up startups and all. Like Groupon, they're trying to attempt to buy Groupons and Picasa and all this YouTube. So in Malaysia, our web and tech startup scene is blooming, but we're still in a very nascent stage. I'm quite an optimist. I see some good web startups from Malaysia. Do you see yourself as having the strategic function to scout such, to acquire such companies?
So there is a team that's based out of Singapore at the moment that does this. That look for opportunities and look for startups that are promising and speak to them and do it. So that will not change. They'll continue to do it. They won't be based out of here. But we are always looking for exciting startups and, you know, technology. Okay. We'll start here.
Hi, Sajith. Thanks. My name is Hafiz. With this Malaysian setup, you plan to have local servers operating here. So that to improve the user experience. And then number 2, in terms of revenue, what are other incomes besides advertisement?
So no other income besides advertisement. But I mean, we've got Google Enterprise, so you know, got some enterprise products, and that's not really advertisement based. That comes out of deals that we would strike with enterprise people. So and no servers. So last 2 questions.
My name is Akmal, and I'm working with Celcom Malaysia. I have a question here. Celcom, yeah, it's a telecommunication. I have a question here because Android is one of the Google's products. So obviously, are you entering the telecommunication market, and how do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years in this telecommunication market? And second question, if I may, how do you get the SMSs data, because you are basically on the internet base? So how do you get the data, and is there any privacy breach?
No privacy breach. We basically work with cell phone providers. We didn't do anything other than basically making the data look very, very pretty. That's all we really did. Right? It's just a way of presenting it. So we didn't do anything other than that, but we basically work with cell phone providers. Second, Android is an operating system. So what it does is we don't build phones. And we certainly don't have price plans. We don't have a network, right? And I'm saying all this today, right? So this is today, I'm speaking about today. God knows what we're going to do in the future, right? I certainly don't know. But we don't have all of those. So we're not a telecom player. What we're trying to do is